silhouette. Alright, let's go with that. And I like people that are already combined. You'll notice that when people are in a typically they don't walk alone. There's usually a small group or there's couples. So it's not a bad idea to go ahead and I've always imagined that they're working together or walking together. All right, now this this is the next step. You got to kind of make sure that you put them at the right scale. So you have to use something as your measuring point. These are 12-foot walls, so I have to keep that in mind that they want to kind of always be. And magically, that couple came in perfect. But that's not always going to be the case. So let's just pull in somebody else. Alright, so now we got that guy, and we can see that, you know, even though they are the same size, as soon as I put him in here further back in space, there's a problem with scale. So I'm going to have to shrink them, and I just gotta keep my eye on exactly kind of what would be a situation or height that person would be in. And the other thing you might want to keep in mind is you probably don't want your person to be kind of walking out of space. You know, maybe walking into your building instead of out of your building. So I'll just do one more. I'm really turning my tolerance down so when I click I really get the most of everything here. Let's get this couple here. Alright. And let's just imagine them back in the background here. Now you have to decide whether you want to put these all on a kind of the same layer or to have them individual. If you have any questions on their scale, you may want to put them on individual layers. But the next thing that I'm going to do, it would be really nice if these were all together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Put this guy up there. Merge layers. So now we have all those on the same. And then I'm going to go up and I'm just going to add this hue to them so that I can kind of start to look at them being white. And you see what's happening is I get this kind of silhouette, which isn't a bad thing. You know, kind of a white silhouette, or I can just go white. And then I can start to play with opacity. Oh, sorry, that's opacity on this layer. I actually want it on the people layer. So there you go. That's how you start to get a few more things going on. Create a grass layer. And let's you know, you got to kind of play around and find the kind of proper grass for whatever you're trying to achieve. Let's just imagine that there's kind of a taller grass involved here. So you can see real quick kind of what you get out of it. I don't want that. I'm just going to start to draw this down. And I'm going to start here in the background. What I've done is let's pick this color, but I want a slightly different tone of that green, so I'm just going to pick something in the medium of that color. And I'm just going to go back to the back and turn my brush down way down. And you kind of just fill in, do a little bit of painting, scale up, make sure you're not working in a completely horizontal line. And maybe change that color a little bit and a little bit more green as you get closer. But definitely you want to kind of blend in right here at the edge of things. Start to kind of take away that sharp edge of material. So I'm just going to pull away a little bit more. I'm slowly scaling up the brush, trying to get rid of any kind of angry things. When I mean angry, I mean like any patterns. And I might just throw some, get this a little even lighter tone. I'll throw in a few highlights like that, and then I'd do the same kind of as I back here. So the trick here is really to kind of make sure that there isn't any of this kind of this edge that is unrealistic, and really try to kind of get at the idea of something that is real, right at that kind of building scale. Alright, so you can see that now, and again I may want to tone this down a little bit, make it a little bit opaque so it doesn't read so well, and I will definitely kind of get rid of some of these grasses that are in what's going to end up being the poche. Alright, so this one's looking about right. There's probably more tweaks, but this gives you the general idea. And so from here I'll go into describing what to do in Illustrator some more. Alright, and now I'll probably end up also wanting to add in a cloud layer or sky layer. So I've increased the canvas size a bit, just going up to image and canvas size, and it was like 16, and now I've made it 24. Okay, so that just gives me a little height. Now I don't really know how this is going to be in Illustrator, so again I want to make sure this is all on separate layers so I can make this kind of work regardless of how big this is. Now, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to throw in another layer called just background color. And you'll have to decide whether that background color is something that you actually hold on to, but for right now what it's going to do for me is it's going to give me a color in the sky, is what I'm going to do is paint in white. So no matter what in Illustrator I end up using as my sky color, the white will show up on top of it, which will be the clouds. So I'm just gonna do let's see, a gradient. I've got a nice blue here. Turn this down to kind of a, I don't know, greenish white, and I'm just going to use my gradient and draw a line. So I've got a kind of basic sky going on. Maybe turn this all the way down to white. Let's see what that looks like. It's nice. Actually, I like the green cast a little bit better. Alright, so then I'm going to go to my brushes and go find a cloud. The clouds are a little bit hard to see. You just have to go through and kind of look at each one, see which one you want to use. I'm going to use this one. I got to make sure then I create a new layer called cloud. And you notice that I've dragged them all down to the behind everything, so that if I put a cloud, it always kind of shows up behind. And so you can see right there that that's looking pretty good. And in fact, voila, I may be done. You have to be careful with the clouds, because once you get to that, you'll start seeing this edge. So you got to be careful with drawing down on the cloud. Essentially, what I attempt to do is to kind of make sure that. Well, let's see, that's not really working. No, that's working. I think I was best off when I just hit it once, so I'm just going to go back to that. Bam. That looks pretty darn good. And like I said, you'll probably end up turning off this layer and saving this as a PNG. Go ahead and crop it a bit. Get rid of some of this stuff over here, and then just export this as a either a PNG, or save as either a TIFF that has the alpha channels be able to turn on. I'm just going to save it as a PNG so I know that the alpha is held. And we'll just call this section cross, perspective cross. Let's call it 1. And now I've got a pretty good image going, and we'll see if that color holds true. I'm just going to turn that off so I have control in Illustrator of it. Alright, there you go.